And who wants to start this party off with the first question?
You, sir. You have a question. Brandon. We got one for you, Brandon.
First question to you.
I heard that you said you want Phil Heath to come back.
What's that?
I heard that you said you want Phil Heath to come back.
Of course I do.
What's the shot you beat him in?
Hey, you know, the fact that he is debating on coming back, it gives me a lot of confidence. You know, but really it's about, you know, it's one thing to be the champion, it's one thing to have a legacy. And I've been putting most of my time chasing Phil Heath, and I feel like I'm really ready to battle him now, and I just can't see him going away. It's just not fair. But, you know, if he comes back, it'll be an honor for me to compete against, win or lose. It doesn't matter.
Beat him.
You know, but I think I'm in a good position at this point to where I can really give you guys a good show.
That's right.
You know, and give a lot of people things to talk about. So that's what it's all about. It's about the bodybuilding experience altogether and the fans. You know, we want to see everybody. We want to see like 3 or 4 Olympians on that stage, Mr. Olympians on that stage.
That's right.
What about that?
Yeah.
That's a good narrative, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so and it'd be an honor for me to be on stage with all those guys and just being able to give my best and try to take them out.
Next question. Who we got? You, sir.
What's for Andre Ferguson? How do you feel about Jeremy Buendia coming back for 5? How do you feel about Jeremy Buendia coming back for 5?
You want an honest answer?
Yeah.
No, lie.
Alright. I don't think he can catch back up after taking a 1.5 years off. Everyone else got better. He sat down. So he's got to try to catch back up to where everybody was, not everywhere we are. So, is it good for the sport in the division? Yes. Do I think he can win? No. I think he's in the mix, though. All day I think he's in the mix, but I don't think he can actually win. He took a lot of time off. Everyone still got better. So he's got to not only get back to where he was, he's got to get better than that. Is he the right guy to do it? Yeah, but we got to wait and see. He's got 4. You can't count him out.
No.
Got 4.
That'd be interesting.
Next question. Who we got? Anybody?
I'm not going to bury him. I still give him respect.
Come on, guys. Yes, sir.
Mark, I want you to follow up on that question about Jeremy Buendia. About Jeremy Buendia coming back.
Uh-oh.
Well, I think it goes back to what he said. When you take time off, like bodybuilding constantly wrestling, right? We had this conversation. Steve and I had this conversation earlier, right? We always look at the 90s and the 80s and the 70s as this heyday of bodybuilding. But if you look at it stat for stat, number for number, our bodybuilders now are bigger and better now. If you actually take the same poses, and like there's that big thing of like, you know, Brandon versus the guys in the 90s, right? But if you actually put them side by side, Brandon kills them. Looks better. But no one's gonna say it because we're romanticizing the past, right? Well, remember the good old days. I'm sorry, Phil got in trouble for saying it. Arnold's legs would be laughed off stage right now. Am I wrong though? It's true. He looked great for his day, and that's taking nothing away from him. But bodybuilding has evolved. But when you take time off, and everybody's look at football, man. Linemen used to weigh what, 190 in like the 70s? They weigh like 350 and run 4.9 in the 40-yard dash. Sports evolved, so a 1.5 years off. My man's right. Can he do it? I've seen it happen. Like we've seen Jay come back. We've seen it happen. But the question is, does Buendia have the work ethic with all the shit going on around him, all the lawsuits, this and that? Can he focus?
He went there. He went there. Okay.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
If you're getting sued, it's a stressor. I've been sued like 9 times. I don't know why. No, but seriously, it's a stressor. So bodybuilding stress mess everything up. If you're in a bad spot, it messes everything up. Can he do it? Yes. Is the probability that he won't? I think it's a long shot that he comes back and makes it impact.
Whoever said that question, good one.
Very quick question for Brandon. Just came in from YouTube. Who's your favorite bodybuilder of all time?
My favorite of all time, man. Well, if I look at it in context of the full bodybuilding spectrum, just not physique, I'll say Lee Haney is probably number 1. Just because, you know, he represented the sport very well. You know, he dominated on stage in his day, and you know, even though Dorian, you know, came up and made a presence, I don't think he would have been able to take him out immediately. So, nobody came into the sport like him and came out of the sport with such ease. So he's definitely the true champ, man.
Cool. Physique-wise.
Physique-wise, it would go to the person that just didn't look like he was from this planet, and he took his physique progressively to a crazier, nastier level, and that's King Coleman. You know, no one's able to do that. What he's done as far as how he entered the sport and how he left the sport, there was dramatic changes in physique, and nobody's been able to do quite a dramatic effect to the physique changes that Ronnie's been able to do over his career. So I have to take my hat off to him physique-wise for what he was able to accomplish.
Perfect. Back here, yeah.
Is there for each of you as motivation to get on stage, is there a particular opponent that you try to drive yourself as a driving factor, or do you have different motivating factors versus like family or personal goals, or do you always try to have that someone that you're chasing after?
So we'll do this for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys got to pick one person. It's John Meadows.
So over my 70-some shows I did, I never really thought about other competitors. I just thought I'm so tired of getting second place. I am the second place champ. I mean, I've got more second places than you can imagine. So for me, it was just, that was like a roadblock. So I just kept thinking, if I just keep getting a little better, year after year after year after year, after decade after decade, eventually I might have a decent physique. So for me personally, I never really had somebody I was chasing. It was just this frustration with trying to win a pro card, play some pro shows, and obviously it took me a long time, but that's my answer.
Josh Bomar.
Yeah, honestly for me, it was always my own lane. You know, I always in my own lane, and I was like, oh, how can I make myself better and be athletic and keep an athletic physique, but also not lose my athleticism. You know, I didn't always just want to just be as strong as possible. I always like to move and do those calisthenics type of thing. So for me, it was just, you know, being strong and staying in my own, or being like athletic and staying in my own lane and trying to bring the best thing for myself.
Fair enough.
I didn't really look at anyone else, honestly.
Fair enough. Mark Lobliner.
I've never competed at a level where I knew who I was competing against.
No.
So I mean, for me, it was just about, I like to win, you know, and I don't go do anything for second place. So if I'm gonna waste my time dieting, starving myself, training, taking away from work and kids and everything else, I'm not going for second place. So that's just who I am.
Andre Ferguson.
I guess most people have a rival, but what happens when your rival's not there no more? What drives you then? It has to be the goals. So we show up to win. So the goal is to win. That's the motivation. Because you can have a rival all you want to, but when they go away, what's going to wake you up now to go compete? So I say the goals always have to be number one.
Okay. Steve Kuclo.
I'd say my focus is more on myself to bring the best me, because if I have control of myself. I can't control other competitors or athletes, and that will only cause more stress in the big picture. So for me, it's bettering myself every show and just trying to bring the best me. That's what kind of motivates me.
Amanda Latona.
I've competed to win, same thing. I got fifth place in Olympia. I was like, I lost 4 times, so we were just like, okay. And that was also big picture. So my thought was always, well, what am I going to do after stage? Where is this stage going to get me? So it was using that to not only for exposure, but then to open doors to do other things, because the competing window is not you got to have other things. So mine was also, where am I going from this? And I really want to win.
Gotcha.
We all win.
Sarah Bomar.
For me, it was never, I haven't competed in a very long time, but it wasn't ever about looking better than someone else. Honestly, I wanted to look a lot like Courtney and Amanda, so that's really cool to be able to be up here with them. But it was always just about the goal, and I needed the goal at the time to be in the gym and to compete. And I love now, like what Amanda said, it's after the stage. And so now I enjoy coming to the gym just to come to the gym. But at that time, that goal was the ultimate driver.
Gotcha. 2016 Bikini Olympia champion Courtney King.
Oh gosh. No, mine for sure was definitely the goal. Like at the end of the day, it was about bettering myself and just like loving what I did. I loved it. So it never was work. It was never anyone else. It was just like me and my passion, and yeah, just something I loved.
Classic Physique Olympia champ Chris Bumstead, who will only be 24 for one more day, by the way.
I mean, of course, everyone's kind of having the same answer here, but to push that into something a little bit different, if I kind of keep going, because we all agree on this topic that we're all trying to be a better version of ourselves. I think what makes a champ, personally, I might be speaking for a lot of us, but I think the fact that we're not motivated to get in the gym a lot, like I wasn't motivated for half my prep. I had some shitty preps, some health issues, and some time I was just like, fuck this, I don't want to do this. But I think what separates kind of champs from the people who kind of don't make it too far, the ones when they're not motivated, they still get in, they crush it, but it's just what you do. You're just stubborn, you're competitive, and you just want to win. So no matter how shitty you're feeling without motivation, with motivation, you go and you get the job done. And exactly, yeah.
Mr. Olympia, your motivation.
Well, considering the road, yeah, I mean, I do consider my competition because I've had to climb a ladder and pick people apart. So it kind of helps me assess my progress. Like, so we got to, you know, reach the top 5, you know, you're in the bracket. I take down Jesse Jackson, okay, I got him down. You know, I'm taking down, and say, oh dang, I beat William Bonac, I take him down. So yes, I'm coming in like a headhunter, and I'm trying to take particular individuals down. And when it came to somebody entering the new on stage, so Hadi comes in, nobody's seen him before on the Olympia stage. What do I got to do to beat him? Yeah, I'm gonna study him, I'm gonna study his stage game, and I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna take him out on stage. Yes, I'm gonna come in the best I can, but I know I'm dealing with a personality, I know I'm dealing with a certain style, and I know I'm gonna be judged against these people. So I do need to assess their strengths and weaknesses, and I do need to set a strategy on how I'm gonna present myself to be better than them on stage.
See, this year is going to be a little different because unless Phil comes back, you've beaten all these people at one point or another already. So where does that take you?
Well, I will be studying Phil as if he's coming back.
Okay, fair enough.
As if I was standing next to him on stage, I will make sure I assess everything I need to do because I know he's a very dominant presence on stage, and I can't let that dominant presence be the best of me on stage because I'm the champ and he's not. So I'm gonna have to go in there with that attitude because
That was a good answer. Phil, I'm sure you're going to hear that. Next question. Who we got? Raise your hand if you're sure. Yeah, why not?
What's the combination you got to be? What's the combination you got to get to bring a better package than last year?
This is for Brandon?
Chris.
Oh, Chris, okay. Did you hear him? I'm sorry, repeat that.
So what's the package you got to make sure you can bring? What formula do you got to bring to absolutely knock out Breon again this year? What do you got to do?
What do I got to change on my physique?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty blatantly obvious I have a pretty shitty back on that stage. Besides a couple of short black guys on stage, you know? They got thick, crazy backs, and they got crazy big biceps, and that's exactly what I'm lacking. As a taller guy, it's kind of harder to fill that frame out. So I'm really focusing on a lot of like just back density, biceps this year. Lucky me, I get to train arms 5 times a week, however much I want. I hate training arms. But no, I'm putting a lot of focus into just building my back, because I know if I can even come close to par of Breon's back, or like a little bit not as good, everything else I can blow him out of the water. So I just got to kind of bring that up a little bit, and I don't think he'll take a chance.
George Peterson didn't go on your back way bigger.
George is gone. George is gone. He's all gone from Classic. Okay. In the back, somebody's got to have a question. Come on. Don't be shy.
Brent's got a question.
Okay.
I had a question, okay, for anyone who wants to answer. Do you guys think that IG and social media is ruining the gym atmosphere and training? Like, is IG and social media ruining like the training atmosphere in gym?
I'll say this.
Yeah.
I'll say no because you should be focused on your workout, not the guy taking a picture over there.
No, I agree.
But you're focused on your workout.
Is it, I mean, is it in general?
What do you mean? Is it ruining what though?
I mean, you go into gyms, right?
I go to the gym to work. So
Not
I go
you.
to the gym. But what I'm
Not
saying
you.
is that's where you should be going to the gym.
Right.
And if some people go to the gym for social hour. I'm not there for social hour. I'm there to work out. So if I'm there to work out, everybody in the gym doesn't exist to me but me. Because I'm only focused on what I'm trying to accomplish. Like people taking pictures or doing that, I don't even care if you're doing backflips across the gym. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. Like,
I think as a whole it's helping because I think a lot of more people are finding more inspiration that they didn't find before, and it holds them accountable too. Like, hey, you know, I find someone on social media that they're just kind of like in a slum, and they go to someone's page and they get a little bit inspired, and then they go to the gym. Now, us filming the content in the gym, you know, in that exact moment, it might ruin somebody's workout because they're in the background or something along those lines. But I think from a grand scheme of things, I think it's actually helping like the whole fitness world. Like people think technology is ruining the fitness, but I actually think it's the opposite.
I think too, just with all of the free information that's out there, there truly is no excuse now. Like, oh, well, I can't afford a bodybuilding magazine. Well, you don't have to be able to afford anything. Everything is free on social media. Yeah.
No, I actually agree. I think it does.
Yeah.
John Meadows is a great example.
Yeah.
He's got climbing like crazy on YouTube, and it's all training based. People are learning a lot of programming for free, right?
Yeah.
Like, so there's a good aspect. I was kind of trying to relate, I guess.
Yeah, right.
I think it's really helping because you know when you post your videos on social media and then you get all those great critiques on your form and everything. I think that really helps keep everybody knowing.
Well, I want to ask you guys that, and anyone who wants to answer. You guys all get trolled constantly on your social media. Guys telling you you suck, you know, your form's bad, you're weak, this body part. You know, does it get to any of you guys, or you just filter all that out?
The stands for a reason. They're not on the court. I don't know about you guys. It gets to me. It hurts to read stuff and people calling you a whatever. And I've been called like slurs that I didn't know existed. I seriously had to look one up. I was like, damn, that's not even nice. It's not even nice. You can just like they just look, it just hits them and it just bounces off. And I think for a lot of us, like a lot of people I talk to, those are when we notice. You get 100 positive comments, and that nasty one, that's the one that's because you feel like people don't understand you because you're trying to put out. Well, I think everybody up here, I follow all y'all. Like, you guys put out quality stuff that helps people. So when you see somebody like thinking you have an ulterior motive, like, oh my, but I don't. So you want to explain it, you're angry. So many emotions come to you. So I think that's why it does. It does affect you.
Well, let me ask this, because when I came up 1,000 years ago, there was no social media. It was just magazines. We had no access to the pros. We couldn't see them every day training. We couldn't see how they ate. You know, I think they're spoiled rotten now. They have access 24 hours a day to you guys. They have all your secrets, all your training, all your nutrition, your personalities, your lifestyle. So I get angry with them like, you know what, we would have killed to be able to see all this stuff that you guys are seeing now. And you're sitting here making fun of them and mocking them and calling them names and trying to antagonize them? How dare you? Yeah.
But it says more about the person trolling you than you.
Yeah. Well, the thing is back then there were probably trolls, but they could just complain to themselves. They didn't have anyone to. Yeah, they could write you a letter and hope it really hurt you.
It can definitely be pretty toxic, I feel. I've cried multiple times, and Chris has been like, "It's okay," but like he'll get comments all the time, and he just kind of like laughs about it, or he'll make fun of himself for the comments.
Myself on the internet, so.
Yeah, I'm like, I've gotten a lot better. Because it's just like something that comes with putting yourself out there, you know, you just have to like.
I will say though, and maybe this is a question for everyone, has anyone ever had a troll in person?
Never.
No, never.
So I think that's a true testament to just the internet courage that's out there and the keyboard confidence and the fact that people kind of disassociate the fact that we have hearts and souls and we read things and everyone will like, well, don't let it get to you. Well, it can get to you for sure, but it's focusing on the positive and you know the 100 comments to the one negative one.
Well, again, there's no consequences for their actions. You know, when they do it in person, there's real consequences. Yeah, good luck trying to beat Brandon.
Also, Brandon just forms bad.
Yeah, good luck with that. But again, I think I can speak for all of us. You know, we all focus on value-driven content, and so when you focus so much on trying to help others, and when that one person kind of tries to take it away from you, it kind of tries to discredit everything that you're doing.
They're usually not even ever following you either.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you just get a bunch of fake accounts, but like fake accounts.
For a reason.
So, Ron, there's this really cool feature on YouTube, and it's hide user comments. And I personally think I'm more like Chris. I just think it's funny. Like, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I hide users' comments, so they keep on commenting, hey, I'm gonna show you. And nobody sees it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
They control every single video they want, and nobody's gonna see their comments. So they're like, damn, I keep calling him names. No reaction. No reaction. No reaction. That killed it right there. So hide users' comments, game over. It's called shadow banning. I love it.
So now some of you trolls know why your message isn't getting through. Yeah. All right. All right, that's enough about social media. What else we got? Training, nutrition, lifestyle, business. Super Bowl predictions. No, yeah.
This is for Chris Bumstead. How much did you have to change in nutrition and training and diet and water and everything from on all the water retention from the second year that you competed against Breon to winning against Breon in the third year?
I mean, it wasn't huge. I mean, I did change my diet a bit, and everything was just a lot more like healthy. I started dating the queen of holistic nutrition right here, and everything was like avoiding kind of shit, going more organic to everything. I was like vegan for a bit of.
I did not tell you that.
She did that before I met her. But like I focused on a lot of that. For me, it was a very specific thing because I was born with an autoimmune disease that kind of affects my kidneys, and that kind of comes through high stress and different triggers and things. So a big thing for me was just like managing stress and kind of being able to just like I didn't travel for the 12 weeks before the Olympia. Normally I'm doing guest postings, some events like this, going around. I didn't leave my house. I didn't drive farther than 8 minutes away from my house for my entire prep because I knew I couldn't. Everything had to be on point. I had to be in bed at the same day, eat my meals the same day, everything at the same day, and just like had to be monotonous, not have any stress, anything out of order. So I just kind of like stuck to that crazy routine to not let anything go to place. And of course I was still stressed out through it, but it was definitely more manageable this year.
That's also controls.
Well, I got a question for anyone who wants to answer it. You know, you do need to be on a very strict routine, and ideally, you don't want to leave. You don't want to be more than a few miles away from your home, your kitchen, your gym in the last, ideally like 12 weeks before a show. Does it bother you or does it make you nervous when you're called upon to travel close to a show and you know you're going to have to go to all these extra lengths to make sure you get all your meals, workouts, everything in exactly when you need them?
Sometimes I turn them down.
Mm.
Even if it's a paid gig, I'll turn it down sometimes because sometimes the money's not worth it.
Mm.
It depends on where I'm going. A lot of times I make sure that it's all laid out before I get there with the meals, and I know who's gonna cook, and they know what I need, and so when I get there to arrive, they know what to expect. If they can't do that for me, then it's no go. So.
Gotcha. Anybody else? Bueller?
It's just when I was preparing, like I always find a food service company that from referrals that I can trust, have the food ready. It's simple as that. We got things really good. I remember we used to have to paint our can on ourselves. There was no such thing as airbrushing, and you actually had to lug all your food through the airports.
Yeah.
We got it made.
Yeah.
If you can't do it now, you just like this. Because really, it's easy.
I got a question. We have a whole new division. I'm not going to ask about it, but do you think there should be a cap? No more divisions. This is it. Wellness. That's it. No more divisions ever, because that'll be 9 divisions already.
I don't understand what else they would go. I've seen some funky things in some other
Wellness for guys?
Maybe.
Bikini for men.
You know.
I see guys in jeans on stage, and I'm not really a fan of that, so I hope that I can bring that on. That's kind of weird.
The denim.
Yeah, the jeans on
Wow.
stage. Yeah, some organizations, they do guys with jeans, no shirt.
Evening wear, tuxedos. Yeah.
I mean, once we get outside of showing your physique, I think it's going to get a little weird. But I think wellness is definitely welcome. It's an aspect that brings just a little different dynamic. But those girls, I know they really work hard to get that look, and it's a cool look. It's a cool, different look. So it's a different dynamic. I think it's going to be an asset to the sport. I don't think it's going to hinder it.
Fair enough.
I think it's confusing. Like, how can I have one guy I know win 3 divisions at one show? He won physique, classic, and bodybuilding. So, especially in natural organizations, because let's be real, what the hell's the difference between physique and bodybuilding? Like, look at them; they're all skinny.
About 8 ounces.
You mean in like a natural organization?
Yes.
There's no difference in those two categories.
And basically, one guy's wearing shorts, and one guy's wearing tights.
Yeah.
But they can literally cross over and just switch their posing,
Yeah.
and they're different. So to a consumer, like, it seems like we're getting all these new seats, because let's be real, to make money, a show, promoters will know this, like, you need family members. So you have more competitors you have, you know, they'll get their friends from work. Bikini was great for body. I think it saved bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Bikini put butts in seats.
Yeah.
So there comes a point where everybody's just too confused to know where to go. Where do you tell somebody to go? That's the question. If you're a coach, how do you go like, classic? Like, do you look at that? What is it? What's the difference? What's the differentiation?
I guess you build the best physique you can, and then we decide where you go after that.
Well, I guess that's that. But what do you do? So what I'm saying is, when it starts getting to the point we can't differentiate the divisions, it's just, from a business standpoint, it's the folly of choice.
I think it's still a business. I think it's harder to differentiate the divisions when you're in an amateur.
Yes.
And you're at the lower levels.
At your level, is, yeah.
But that's once you climb that ladder, if you're able to climb that ladder, it should be more defined. And I think this is what is giving the guys and the women to find an identity in the sport.
Yeah.
So they have a chance to actually stick their foot in each little pot and see where they fare, and to see which direction they go. But and it's good for promoters because they get those extra dollars.
I'm with you 100% at the pro level. But when does it become too much on amateur level? People just start putting hands like, this is confusing.
But I agree that the pro level, George Peterson, one of the reasons he left Classic, he told me, was because after Olympia, he realized people were telling him he could have done top 3, maybe even won the 212 at the Olympia. Nobody was saying Raymond Edmonds could have jumped in a Classic and won that. Nobody was saying Chris Bumstead could have jumped in the Open Olympia and won that. But when they were telling him that, he realized, I'm in the wrong division now. I need to get out.
But I guess it's the exception to the rule. Like
Yeah.
you said, that doesn't go across the board for all
No,
of us.
yeah, no, absolutely.
One guy win for it.
Right. Yeah, he's an anomaly.
There's exceptions to every rule, but you got to go by the rule, not the exception.
But I think we've all been to amateur shows where, like, the same girl wins bikini and figure.
I've seen exactly what Mark saw. I saw a guy win physique, classic, and bodybuilding
Yeah.
in the same show.
And that's-
I didn't see a guy at a national show Team U win classic and the open bodybuilding.
Wow.
He was in like the light heavy or middleweight class.
Hmm.
So he won classic and won the open for middleweight.
Yeah, that sends a confusing message.
It does.
Yeah.
But I can say this.
Yeah.
He was the best looking guy in both.
I mean, I hope so. He better be. Okay. Yes, sir.
I can't knock him there.
It's like arguing religion.
I'm curious to know if there's a common understanding at the pro level of what division is the toughest across the board compared to
Bodybuilding, the open, there's more to it. More everything.
I think fitness.
Fitness. Yeah.
That diet job in cartwheels.
The cartwheels would be good, but they also have to look good in the two-piece.
Imagine being prepped and trying to do a backflip or something.
No.
Yeah.
Diet it down.
Hydrate it down. Come on. I don't know how they function. They got super good personalities and a lot of injuries.
A lot of energy.
Yeah.
It's something amazing that they're able to do that. So my hat is off to them.
But are you all in agreement that as far as all the other divisions, it's pretty much all the same? You all have to diet your ass off. You all have to do a ton of cardio. You all have to do your weight training. It's pretty much all the same prep for everybody.
I don't think bodybuilding's the same as bikini, no.
Aha.
Bodybuilder bikini. The real people. I was OG bikini, so for none of that, though, I think they could do another division that would actually be a less muscular what bikini was, which would be more mainstream, almost like Victoria's Secret model meets the weights. So I feel like that would open up business-minded, which I always think. I'm thinking that would bring expand the sport to women that can't quite be bikini, can't quite, instead of going up in muscular, I'd go down a little more, make it a little softer, more attainable. But with the bodybuilding, I was on stage, and whether I ate a cheeseburger or not, or water or not, or had salt or not, I could still win a show and be very comfortable with that. His body changes every meal, and I've seen that. So I've witnessed it, and I was like, holy crap, like, bodybuilders to do this at Olympia for a 2-day show blows my mind. They are peaking at that right moment. I mean, I've seen a tanner go on him and his body change. Like, we've seen so much stuff that I would be, and I was in bikini, I'm like, nope, those guys are the kings. So to me, that's still what the sport was. I was a bodybuilder fan. I would sit on the Bikini Olympia stage and watch like the guys, and I'm like, go Jay, you know, go Kai. Like I was a fan. I go off stage and I watch the audience. So to me, I trained like a bodybuilder back when we had magazines. So yeah, I do think social media has changed the gym. For me at least, it's helped, but honestly, it aggravates me when I'm like, this person is training not because they love it, because they want to be an Instagram star. So to me, I train because I love being there so much that I lived for it. I see people now, they go in the gym, they set up their tripod, they take their shirt off, they do a couple reps. Yeah, that pisses me off. Sorry for you guys. I'm being honest, that shit pisses me off. I'm like, you are so annoying, because we went in there, we didn't have phones. Like, we had iPods, and it was it. Done. That's a love of training to me. So it's for me, yeah, it's grown the sport of fitness. That's awesome about health. But I think a lot of people are doing it because they don't even know why. Because one day they want to have a supplement company, they want to have their own gym. But their heart's not there and their work ethic is. It needs to be about a love of training, which is why I think we all stepped on the stage in the first place. Win or lose, you know, we're like, we freaking love this shit. So it's like, why are you there in the first place?
A lot of people do it because it's trending.
It's trending. It's so trendy. When I first got into it, my number one inspiration on my vision board was Amanda. Oh, yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, she was like the glutes. Oh my gosh. I started like at the first. I love her. Right now, it's like you just saw the life. It's just like everyone on Instagram. It's a different world. I can't explain it.
You know, you guys are killing my new booty workout book coming out next week.
Everyone has
not what I want.
I'll like bars and booties.
But it's true, but with that comes more fakeness. With that comes more, there's accent. It's like, I'm like, oh, that sucks. Like, I had to work years to build that shit. Like, and I'm like, you're getting in 6 months. It's crazy. And it makes people nuts because they think they're going to, so with that, yeah, I do think social media, a lot of it time it sucks. We've talked to a lot of people here. There's times where I'm like, this is crazy. I'm going to delete all my account and get my sanity back. Because I don't post fake shit. Like, I'm not going to do that. But I know people that do. And it just it makes people that are really wanting to learn about the training, it makes them feel bad. And that's why there's a higher depression rate with kids, with social media, because they're comparing themselves. A woman will think right now she can go in and train for 6 months and have an ass, and it's fake. And I can spot it like that. That's not cool, man. That takes time. But you know what I mean? Like, that's, so there, to me, I see a good and a bad. Social media, to me, it's a God-given gift because it's a platform that gives reach to people that you can help. But at the same time, it's also made people so focused on that yeah, there's a lot of difference of why people are actually here in the first place. And that's what carbon culture is about. The culture of bringing back the fitness of why we were here in the first place. If I had a mic, I'd drop it right now. Yes, I did.
We should just end it right there.
I wish she had a microphone so she could drop it right now.
Came from, I just came out. It's in me, apparently.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody knows about the big shows. You guys most attend them, the Arnold, the Olympia. Now, there's another big show this year coming out in Atlanta, which is put on by Dwayne Johnson Athleticon. Will you guys be attending if invited or not? If you haven't been invited already. Or are you guys looking forward to it?
I'm in. I'm already in.
We're hopefully exhibiting.
Okay.
If Chris competes, I'll go to cheerlead on the sideline.
I'll most likely be there. I'm not thinking past the Olympia right now, but that's kind of just my goal still in the Olympia. I don't care what the prize money is or how much attention's coming to another show. I still want to be in the Olympia. But after that, you'll see.
Have they reached out to anybody yet as far as invitations? You did
It's
get.
invitational.
Okay.
They're only taking 10, 12 people in each division.
Yeah.
Well, per category.
Okay.
You know, I will attend. I don't know about competing yet, but I definitely attend. You know, we still got to get some things cleared out whether I'll compete again or in that show again. We'll see. But I'll at least be there because it's a split drive from here.
Oh, okay.
I just want to see what it's about. You know, what maybe get myself into in the future if I don't do it.
Right on. Okay. Yes, sir.
How many months out of the year do you guys typically stay strict and, on your diet? Like, is your off season as calculated as a prep, or just kind of let yourself go for a little bit, or how does that typically work?
I would say the off season is almost more important than prep, especially if you're trying to build. But everyone's different. I mean, obviously bikini girl could take a little more time off than Brandon or Steve might be able to. But
You're talking about for double muscle.
yeah. I think it's all calculated.
I would say, yeah, everything's definitely calculated. Maybe not as strict as prep, but if we're not being strict, it's calculated. Like, I know I took a lot of time off, Brandon took a lot of time off. He was killing it for years. We all see how the transformation just like blew up for years. He was just grinding, doing multiple shows throughout the year, and finally he got his gold, he won the Olympia. So he's like, I've earned like 3 months off the gym. And I kind of felt the same after this year. My body threw a lot of stress, and I just calculatedly took a few months off training. Wasn't really caring about eating. I was eating a lot less, and I felt damn good doing it, just kind of hanging out. But that was like calculated. But definitely when you are in your off season, it's treated like a prep. And I get that from my coach because insane. He weighs all his food raw. Every single meal cooks it from raw because it's more accurate to weigh your rice raw and your meat raw and everything. He does that 12 months of the year. So I'm not quite that crazy, but I do keep things like very specific year round, like with a goal.
Anybody else up there?
Steve got taller. I mean, how consistent is he? He got taller.
I kind of follow a 90-10 rule, I guess, like off season. Like because you look at the lifestyle. You know, it's not. This is something we're doing, you know, as a career, but also because we love it and it is a lifestyle. So if I'm able to, you know, do what I do when I prep into my off season, it just makes the prep a lot easier. But if I want something off season, if I want to, you know, live a more balanced life, I want to go out with my wife and go eat dinner or go have a cheeseburger, I'm going to go eat it and not feel like any regrets about doing it. So there, you got to create that balance. Like I think too obsessed, you're going to get burned out. You're not going to be able to do this long term. So you got to think about those things, and that's one of the things I preach on a lot is just balance with this, because this can be obsessive sport. You know, you can't get. Go ahead.
When you get ready to go into a show, like when you're going for Arnold.
Yeah.
How many months ago did you start eating exactly what you needed for bulk and cut?
Some of it's dictated on kind of where you start. I think coming off Olympia and then into the Arnold prep, there's not a lot of downtime. So it's like you're not trying to really transform a lot or come down off body fat. Because in that time between shows, there's really not a lot of time to put on, you know, a lot of weight. So for me, it just kind of, usually I go, say about 12 weeks is like an average prep where I really start saying, okay, I'm buckling down and focusing on this. But if it's something like, you know, if I was to take a full year off and then kind of regroup, it'd be about 16 to 20 weeks.
Well, I got a follow-up question to that because, you know, people in years past, they never saw you in the off season. They never saw you when you were taking breaks from training or taking breaks from strict eating. And now you guys all have your own YouTube, your own Instagram. They see you 365 days a year. Do you feel more pressure to stay big, to stay lean? Because if you don't, you're going to hear about it?
I thought about it, but then I was like, nah, what's better for the future? You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm thinking about right now, then, you know, that's the problem because I'm not, you know, right now is not relative to where I'm going to be in the future. So, you know, I realize what's best for me, despite, you know, what anybody else's judgments are. You know, laugh at me now, open your mouth at me later.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So going along with like what you were saying with the love of training, do you feel like being in the spotlight, like having attention on you, like now that you have like all these businesses to promote and like have all these other things you're working on, do you feel like that has diminished your love of training at all? That you have to focus on those other things, or has it enhanced it?
I think it's the same, man. I love touching the iron. I just love touching the iron. So if you love bodybuilding, you're always just gonna go back to touching the iron. It's simple. Like if you're not doing it because it's training, if you're doing it because you actually love bodybuilding, you just always go back to working out.
If it wasn't for training, I don't think functioning in business would be possible for me. Because that's where I kind of release things. I get a lot of creative juice. Also realize, just from like beyond bodybuilding, just exercise itself is the only thing we can do that actually gets our neurons firing, develops new neurons immediately. There's nothing else, no drug you can take, nothing that does what training does. So training is actually a performance-enhancing drug for work, believe it or not. I got you. That's a shirt.
Feel that.
Feeling that one.
I already got a brand new video coming up.
In the back, somebody got a question. Come on. Yes, sir.
We're Chris.
Chris, we got one for you.
I was gonna ask, what are your biggest motivators when it comes to getting an injury? Like you've had a lot of setbacks. And I'm just wondering, what motivates you to overcome that?
I mean, this is
question so much. For the longest time, I searched for an answer, but it kind of goes back to what I said before when talking about motivation. Like in 2018, I was put in the hospital at 4 weeks out for a week, and I couldn't eat any meals. I couldn't train for a full week. I was just kind of stuck in there, like feeling like shit, not knowing I was going to be able to compete. What was wrong with me? The doctors had no idea what was going on. And then they're like, okay, like, we think you're good. Like, we're going to let you out. Just like go back and like do your thing. And I was like, cool. They like let me out of the hospital, and like I went to the gym. I drove straight to the gym. You know, I started training. I went to the grocery store. I got my meals, and I just did it. And there was nothing ever in my head that was like, I need to do this for this person, to beat that person, for this reason. It was just like, I was just disciplined. I needed to do it. I like just had the drive in me that like, if I'm really stubborn. If I want to accomplish something, I just need to do it, regardless of any sense of motivation or anything. So, kind of shitty answer, but.
I mean, yeah, I even can like attest to like just watching him through his like prep this year. He went through a lot of. I mean, he's talked about it kind of openly on like his YouTube channel and stuff, like waking up every day and then having like so much just water in his legs and being like, having to look at yourself, you know, you go through a prep and you see all these changes and you start, you know, you're feeling yourself and you're changing and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm looking better and better. Or he was like stuck. And then it's like the next week, it's like he tore his hamstrings, so then his hamstring's black. And like, it's just, it was like one thing after another, and he just kept like persevering, which is really empowering to like, you know, I've been in the shoes of winning an Olympia and training like at that level, but being on the outside, looking in, it was so much more, I don't know, inspiring to watch him actually like keep pushing and like just have that drive. It was good. Yeah, it was pretty intense, but all from him.
Yeah, buddy. Okay. This section. That
Do
section.
one more question. We can wrap it up. And who wants to ask the last question? Come on.
I got make it a good one.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
How much can y'all bench press?
That might be a perfect way to end.
540, 480. No, I'm just kidding. No, we got
So I said, make it a good number. Yeah.
800, 1,000, 900. One more real question. Yes, sir. Brandon Curry, Mr. Olympia. Go
Who are
ahead.
you excited to see come onto the open bodybuilding stage again today, this year?
Exciting to see.
For like competitive reasons.
Well, it'll be two guys I'm thinking about that I haven't seen on stage. Well, I've seen one of them recently, but he's improving. But the other guy I haven't seen recently, and he's working with Kuclo. That's Sergio Olympia. I wanna see what that combination brings to the stage. I think that'll be interesting. I think he's actually in a good place mentally and emotionally. So I think he should have a good year this year. So I want to see what that produces. And then of course you have the young gun Patrick Morgan and the Arnold. With this window of time that he had from the Olympia, I want to see if he actually does make any improvements that are significant, or will he look much of the same. So that's two things I'm looking at as far as competitors concerned.
Cool.
Well, thank you guys very much for coming. We'll wrap it up here, and you guys are free. Anybody who bought a pass can use the gym tomorrow. Well, tonight, so the staffed hours until 8, and then tomorrow, feel free to come back in from 8 to 4 to try out some of the equipment. So, thanks a lot.